mostly in my head, probably.
This is the same guy that does the gas meters too?
No.
I mean,
No, the gas meters is called Grosvenor. There's a big old book up here.
He came with this guy.
He's got an encyclopedia.
I was thinking this water meter guy told us one time that he could get deals that went on our dial faces.
That's what this guy was telling Stuart yesterday, I think.
UTS does do fire hydrants also. So next year.
Yeah, Bruce brought this guy out. His name is Gary. His card is right there.
So then, would you have to have two different telemetry systems, one for gas and one for water?
Yeah,
I would imagine probably so.
yeah, I guess so.
You'd almost have to have that anyway, I imagine.
I think Gary just showed up to give us an idea of what they offer, but the main discussion was with everything water. We only talked a couple minutes on this gas stuff.
It'd be nice if they can make them both go to the same laptop.
They
You know,
do everything
same-
but fusion
that would be
weld.
nice. I imagine they probably
This
could.
company.
It's pretty pricey.
But they do sell the fusion welders and the irons and everything. I'd like to learn how to do that, but you gotta go to school for that. And I think they offered that course at the college in Enid, or that tech center in Enid, I think.
Northwest Tool or something,
Yeah, I didn't expect an encyclopedia.
Probably whatever company we go with on the water, they probably do have some kind of interface. If we went with gas, you'd almost want to stay with one company rather than bounce around.
This company is the one that sold me the regulators and meters, the meter for the school, the south side, and that regulator, and the residential regulators. And he offered to bring a crew in and do an evaluation on the school to where we can take out that dinosaur meter in the front and replace it with a much smaller one and regulate it there instead of being regulated after the meter, which is, I guess, costing us a lot of gas. You know, they're getting a certain amount of gas for free, but what I understand from Bales and Travis, Travis was here, but they never sent the formula on how to figure out how much
Travis
gas.
didn't?
Huh?
Travis did
They
not?
haven't yet, they told me they would let me
They
know.
said they would, but haven't got it.
I will call him every day until he has that.
Yeah, cause he was
Right now,
saying
we're
anywhere from
calculating.
11 to 14%
Well, I didn't-
In the
free
dark.
gas we were giving the school. Which is a buku bunch of money over the years.
By the way.
So we don't know or don't think this would work with the gas.
No, there's two separate entities.
Yeah,
Or
they're
do
not
they
sent-
work, I mean, do they
They
work
can-
together, I mean,
The software, I don't know, I mean, that would be the big cost, really, the software.
Well, that's questions I probably should have asked him, but we were zeroing in on just the water part of it then. But they've got it, the meters to where, same thing, you can drive by and pick up. Now, whether they're compatible with what the water guys have, I don't know.
But it's not the same company?
No.
Okay.
In fact, whenever I call Bruce and I need something for gas, he calls this guy. And so this guy came, so there wouldn't be Bruce involved in it anymore, so I could just go directly to him.
But if they work hand in hand, I mean, maybe they,
Cause I really don't, ideally, I'd like to see it to where
Yeah,
you could sit in the office and you could see what every gas meter and every water meter in town is doing
That's a bigger project than that.
from here. But if you got all your radios in, all you're talking about is putting a tower in the city office. But I don't wanna put 2 towers and have 2 software programs and 2 computers and 2 different sets of radios all over town. Cause the telemetry radio should be fairly the same, but maybe.
If we could just find out if we could,
well, because one thing is, let's say it, non-hazardous, and the other one's hazardous. You know, they might clash, they might not do it because, I don't know, I'm just guessing. I just can't see them trying to use the same software for a non-hazardous deal and extremely hazardous deal. I don't know. But like I said, I didn't know these questions I asked. I was trying to get floodwaters down.
Deadline is approaching.
yeah.
It's a grant application. We got 2 weeks.
I don't know if I could get them come back if you wanted an emergency meeting, you know? I don't know.
What he said.
We worked on slimmer.
See, that's
Yeah, I guess-
census right there, and that is the software.
For
Here,
that?
it says census, so the software may work
Is it
together.
Bruce?
Yeah.
Is that who it is? Could you call him tomorrow and just ask him
I can't.
if a lot of that stuff won't work together? Cause he's pushed it before when he was out here, so that would.
I think I'd probably call Gary instead of Bruce for the gas part of it, and he would be able to tell you if it would work with the gas
Or
or
get
the
him on a
water.
conference call, so you don't have to say.
Yeah.
Well, you have to call the water guy.
Yep. Gary, he travels all over the country, so,
But he's probably got his cell phone on there,
yeah.
probably on it all the time.
was it, like Dawn said, it might.
It's the same brand up here.
Since it's already.
Just ask him what's compatible and we can, that way we'll know which direction to go.
I mean, as it stands now, I wanna at least get the radios in, everything, get new meters and radios. Cause it'd be nice to detect water leaks before 30 days and,
Well, this wouldn't change how often the meters are checked. It's not just gonna automatically come in here.
tell me you could read them every 15 days instead of every 30 days. If all you're talking about is driving around
It'd be
and
easier just to check.
docking it.
Already don't have to do that. Drive by.
You want
Yeah,
that
we'd
back?
have to pay for it. It's a lot more than $50,000.
To what now?
The drive-by. As
None of these are drive-by?
the $60,000
Yeah.
one is.
Or
If
do
you wanna
the
incorporate
meters-
gas with that, you probably figure it's gonna be at least that much for
To replace all the
transmitting
gas
gas meters, yeah.
Well, that's a project for on down the road, we just wanna make sure this might be compatible with what's coming.
Right.
Cause you want all the reading equipment and then you wouldn't have to just buy 150, like say you could do it in phases. You go up to 50,000 as to however many meters and cans we can get.
Probably need more than the 75 cans. When we go and get 150 cans.
Well, a lot lot of cans were replaced when they replaced the water meters. I guess that was back when province was here. So they're, you know, they're plastic cans and they're still in good shape. They really don't need to be
You can
replaced.
put the sensors in that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Just
thought it
gotta
had to be
change the
their-
water meters is all.
I
They
thought it
don't.
had to be their cans.
No.
Sensors, okay.
And the majority of the cans are the old corrugated tin ones that are dissolving into the dirt, and they're the ones that need replacing.
So I could just back off from 150 meters
Right.
and then just phase in meters over, I mean, the next year, turn around and write phase 2 of this, you know, continuation
Yeah.
to finish out the rest of the meters.
I thought it's next year.
Those projects in there.
What do you think, Shad?
I think
You
so.
could put in all the meters and do like a quarter of the radios. Or do meters and radios kind of together. Yeah, that's just meters, right?
Right.
And then that would be the radios.
Transmitters, yeah. So if I, yeah, cause you said we wouldn't need as many meters, cause you've
I've
got
got
some.
10 meters.
We've got 155 water customers is what I pulled up.
And I've installed 10 meters. There's 10 working meters in the ground now. So I've got 20 meters, basically.
Could go
So how much do
125.
we need to take off of our,
So you only need 135.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just do some math and figure I'll just back off to make it back around.
what's the highest read amount?
50.
Is it 50?
Because you're reading material,
Rheumatoid.
your reading equipment is just over 14. So just take that minus the 50 and request the rest.
So if we put in for 50, do we pay 5,000 then? That's our
Well, we
contribution.
could request, say the project's gonna, I could say the project's gonna cost 55,000, we put in 5,000, ask for 50, possibly, I mean, you might ask that question, you might call or email these guys and ask them. If we say we're gonna pay 5 to 10%, is that of the total project amount or of the 50,000 REAP amount?
Ask Jennifer.
Yes.
How much are they wanting you to,
Your maximum
Put in
points
two.
is if you put in 50% to get maximum points. That's why I say it's like, it's flipped around, it's like if,
so what if
If
you
you
put
put
in
in-
for a $61,825 project and say that you'll
if you
pay
say
5 or 10% of that?
you
That would allow you to.
10% is the least amount that you can pay to get 5 points. So we'd have to put in $6,183 if you round up.
And everything would be done, and you would probably get the grant because you put in enough in addition.
Oh, that's 11,000 over grant price though. So
Then
we'll
you
get
go-
more points.
What would it matter if you were, you're saying you would have to pay 6,000 plus the 11,000?
No, if you want this one right here and we say we're gonna pay the 11,825, I would just take that, that's what I'm having her ask, is what is our contribution percentage that we can get points on over the 50,000? Or is this, our contribution part have to be within that 50,000? Am I saying it right? Okay. It's like I think it,
Yeah,
sometimes it
I know
doesn't.
what you were thinking.
So
Well, that's why I was
that's why I
saying-
want her to ask that question tomorrow, so I know, I can let you guys know which way do we need to go with this. Do we say we wanna pay the 11,825? we have it.
But if we don't need that many cans or whatever, that we don't actually need right now.
Right, this will lessen.
I would take
because-
those off and get the rest.
Well, it wouldn't hurt to have 2 or 3 extra hanging around in case one of them malfunctions, so I wouldn't go with exactly what we need.
What do you think?
We got a Bonnie and a Stuart, they can still read the meters.
Well, yeah, but if
And
the meter doesn't work,
Doesn't
They-
matter, you
yeah,
still
but
need
it's-
them.
But surely there's a warranty on some
Yeah,
of
there's
it.
I'd like to
Isn't
hear
I know, but
25
if someone
boxes.
needs it today,
Stuart, isn't there a
Yeah,
warranty on those
I'd say
meters?
You'd have to keep one or two.
Isn't there a warranty on those meters, like 30 days, 6 months or something like that?
I don't know, I don't think so.
Stuart said he'd like to
Should
get
be.
25 boxes at least.
Oh, the block,
well, those aren't
Well,
very
make it 20,
expensive.
because I've
another
got,
$53.
You know, I'd
Seven.
leave that number, that's nothing.
No, he said make it 20 because he has 7. He's down here saying what he wants.
I mean, I don't know what you're doing, so I'm just saying what I need, you know. I've got at least 20 to 30 meter boxes that I have to replace because, you know, tin ones are just dissolved.
But see,
If we
there's like
start
three-
working-
Like in our neighborhood, there's 3 meters in one can. So, I mean,
I mean, if you start working
That's
from the
maybe
ground
like
up, you would
100
replace
meters
all
to
of
one.
your
Right.
meters
They
and your cans
still be in the.
and get radios in all of
Yeah,
it
it's the
and then start
We
working
can,
from there.
for right
Cause you
now.
can still
I'd like
read
to see 'em separated.
even a
I don't
radio
know about
meter,
them, but
handheld
they
or
might
whatever,
just keep them in the
until
same
we
bin,
get,
I don't know.
Yeah,
The rest of
just
it in
use the
play.
touch
But
one.
they should,
I mean, just
should fit.
probably,
one thing we might look at doing
there was something he said about readers.
some type of tag
I can't remember which one, I'm sure it's not my the pocket reader.
on it, so
that I
that way,
have.
like in the middle of the night.
There's
when
the other
radios
reader,
shut tomorrow,
you have to
I'll
have
shut
2 of them for as many services we have, so
Done that maybe
whatever
a
the
time or
price
two.
and them readers, there, you gotta have a
Ours
reader.
probably needed shut off too.
Because it don't
so-
store enough
But just like, you know,
readings.
a
in it.
little
location.
Right.
metal drill and a engraver,
Yeah.
somehow, something. Just a snack project. Yes.
Well, let's get, I say we get started with everything that is meter and can and radio related. And the handheld we have now,
There's a $600 somewhere on
To
there.
have a second one.
That's what I
He's
have
got
now.
one, and he had it
I've
so.
got one of those now, and I would like to have another if we're gonna change it, all this stuff, but
This is to have us.
we're going to
He's got that
readers,
one already. Just
I mean, electronic or drive-bys, eventually. I don't know, I didn't know how you guys were gonna go with this. That's why I had him put down another $600 reader.
Because we have one now, right?
Yes.
Every-
I'd like to know what it would take to, this $14,000 worth of drive-by reading stuff, what it would take to change that to where you could read it from the office,
Probably a lot
where you
more than
didn't
that.
have to drive by and dock it.
But the drive-by is cheaper than your walk around.
Because there's one, whatever that
probe.
probe is, I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Oh, good, pretty. On top of a reader.
I don't know why they don't use just laptops. I don't understand that. It's a lot easier. Just put it in the pickup and go and it does its thing.
Yeah, they're probably just too cumbersome for some people.
Well, like I say,
If they
we didn't have
walk,
enough time
everyone's
to
slow.
talk about all this stuff, so
On that.
I think the best thing to do is
Are you
Maybe
busy
get him back
Sunday
here,
afternoon after I
lay it
get
all
to-
out for us.
to-
He has no problem
Right,
doing
right.
that.
He said he'd be
Well,
happy to come
figure
here.
out quantities of what you want. I can get this already. I just need to know dollar amount.
Yeah. You need, how many meters?
It's 155 water accounts and he already has 20. So for sure 135.
Okay,
that would probably might have a couple extra there.
Well, there's your backstop for the support team.
And if it gets to where then we don't, you get them all in and you're like, okay, we're gonna need extras, we can order one or two. They're $135 at a later date at any point in time, so.
So that would bring you down to 100, well, then you'd still have 150,
You need,
155 radios is what you need.
Well, whatever we've got
water meters,
running, you know, people that are being served, but then you've got a lot of houses that are the meter shut off, or, you know, it hasn't been used in years, and there's abandoned ones too, you know.
if we order the same amount as transmitters as meters, then I'd say we need more meters and more transmitters at a later date.
Well, he said you could even put some of the transmitters up at some of your more remote locations that, you know, just on one block or whatever, that whatever was maybe harder
Yeah.
to get to, just put up a few transmitters at a time.
I would like the three of you to go through and audit through the town's water record and see how many active meters we have.
155.
150.
So I guess then there would be a few more than whatever houses are empty.
So you're saying there's,
But it's like London's place up here. Nobody's lived in there for years, but the water is still on. And it's never used, it's always the same amount.
and we bill them for it.
And
You'd
Because
have
So
to,
they
you'd
would
have
get
to
a
get
meter.
one.
They haven't told us not to.
And there's several other houses around that just sit there and
So abandoned
They
lines
register
or
nothing.
empty, wouldn't you say there's like 10?
Just get what we have
Maybe.
to have right now.
Is it less?
I mean, I just pulled up how many water customers we have.
No.
I wouldn't even think of it, but there are.
We have
Security has-
155 water customers,
yeah.
then we need 155 radios.
Because if we need to order some, we can, let's just do that.
And there's actually one of those that counted as inactive the other day that will be, well, he turned it on today, so. There's gonna be one more.
And how fast, if you do have to order something, how quick are they to get stuff to you, like in the past?
Within a week with ETS, you know, they're pretty good about that stuff. Well, that stuff is back ordered, which I haven't run across yet.
Right, because it's been in case you come across something, they've grabbed something from a house that's not using anything, if it needed to be in an emergency case until the one came in.
Here, I'm gonna take yours for a while.
Yeah.
You can come get mine,
This doesn't sound right, does it?
you can borrow mine,
Well, it's
we'll
like
go
you,
shower someplace else.
like up by you guys, you know, all three of your meters are in one can, which I can't wait to get them changed out. I mean, but I gotta change, that's a plastic box, but I've got to replace it because the new box is bigger, you know. Even though I'll be able to read it on top, if anything happens, I'll be able to work on it. As it is now, it's like trying to squeeze your hands in a little hole.
And so once you do all that, is there anything else you need from us? Or,
Now, we'll have to all get it all written with the page on there, and then,
do we ever have to have a meeting, or do we have to?
we'll have to have a meeting to sign the actual application.
They've got a resolution to it, so.
Right. It's already written, I just
So,
put our name and stuff, so I
Just
started with.
we resolved to apply for this grant, is that what it?
Basically, it's stating that the board met and agreed on this one project, that one person didn't come in and say, this is what we're doing. If it's in a meeting, if the resolution is approved in a meeting, then it showed it was a group decision. No, it's why that's done like that.
so how soon would we need to have that meeting?
No later than the 24th, which is 2 weeks from now. That way it can be signed the next day. Don will take it down and overnights with a signed receipt.
So it'd be a special
Gotta be
meeting for
one hooker.
By 5 o'clock on the 31st, the next week. But if we overnight and pay the postage with the signed receipt, that I know that they've got it,
Yeah, that's what I would do too.
and then I would scan in that signed receipt to Jennifer and tell her, you have it now.
I'd donate, I'd pay for it.
Got it.
Hey,
Like a road trip.
Sorry,
Drive
you
road
road
Road trip to Hooker.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know somewhere.
West of Buffalo. Wait.
So, GPS, for sure, this drive-by system is what we want. I will work on this and I will get an email out to you on number-wise, where
Okay.
we're at and what we wanna do, and then that way she can hopefully get an answer to the question on the local contribution percentage, how that works, and then we can go from there.
And you want me to ask about the automatic send? He didn't even act like that was an option, did he?
Not really.
Ask if there's a tower.
I wouldn't think it'd be that difficult. But
I mean, for sure we want the meters and cans and radios on everything. Exactly.
What he said is that there would be a dock, because I thought it would just kind of remotely send it. He said, no, he'll dock his handheld at the computer and it'll upload. But maybe he just didn't think we were interested in that, so.
I don't know, cause you're talking about what, $9,500? And then pocket reader and probe and all that stuff, I mean, that's $14,000 worth of reading equipment. If it's another 4,000 or the same price to have it in here where you don't even have to drive around, where it just sends it to me, that would be worth it, cause so much of that looks like you're paying for software and stuff that you're gonna have to buy whichever way you go. But yeah, I would like to know if it could be read from the office, cause the way he had talked several years ago, there's no reason that it couldn't be. And I can't imagine it would cost that much more to have something in here with an antenna on the roof than it would to have some mobile package that you could carry around. But yeah, we'll for sure add up the meters and the radio.
good job, whoever did all that.
Yeah, he did it, I just made a phone call. I said, send me your stuff,
Well, that's,
show me what you got.
Unless you know somebody that'll work with you like that though.
yeah, it is.
Oh,
Super
and
nice guy.
if it will work with a future gas system.
But, you know, tomorrow when I read my notes, I'm not gonna know what they mean. Cindy, what's this?
You're gonna need to upload the
Chad
video
likes
pretty quick so
detail.
that we can go back and review what we have.
If we have to, is there anything we can do to match any of this, where you can make it all one thing?
In gas and.
Like if this exceeds the REAP grant amount, and you combine it with
Another water source?
Another grant.
The Water Resource Board gives loans, but they don't give grants.
What about Sheriff Trust?
I don't know, do they do anything water-wise? I
I
don't know
don't
that
know.
they would do, I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
they do
I don't
infrastructure,
think
it's
so.
more just community development instead of infrastructure. So, cause I do, I mean, I could look at OMAG stuff and see what they've got, but I think everything's pretty much just like, they can give you a low interest loan, I don't know what low interest means. Since prime's going up.
But once we put all that together and move some of that around, we may not be that much off anyway.
Yeah, I mean, And like I said, if our local contribution can be the percentage that's over, and we still get, you know, some points out of it.
So should I give her the example with the 61,000
Mm-hmm.
max grant and if we pay 11, does that count as a percent of the contribution?
Right, or does that give us the points for local
Tell her.
contribution,
Yeah.
or does our local contribution have to be within
The
the
50,000.
50,000?
There was a town that Bruce had mentioned calling, that they had redone their whole,
Drummond, wasn't
yeah,
Yeah, I called him and
Call
they
him.
never could, yeah, that guy had quit and nobody knew what I was even talking about, so I was like, okay.
nobody works there, everything's on telemetry.
Yeah.
So I don't know, the system's
So
in,
much for
yeah.
that.
Right.
The guy quit, they didn't have to replace him because of the telemetry, that's what it was.
Yeah, if you'll get those and send me, if you will total up that and see what we have in the ground, and I'd really like to see what they have to say on something that would essentially read. Cause then if you ever put gas on top of it, you can read all of it.
That way you don't have to go on freeze for 3 or 4 months a year.
And then we'll have our special grant meeting.
Special big grant meeting.
We'll have to have it early, because I think we have something else that night.
We can have it at 6. We're done with that.
Yeah.
Won't take long. Should only take maybe 20 minutes.
Thank you, maintenance, special projects, and town manager. What is it?
Office.
Office manager.
Town manager. Right on, you got a promotion, huh?
Congratulations, Dawn. For getting all that together.
We
We
short
haven't even
amount of
got
time.
to report.
Whatever your title
Well,
is, thank you
it's-
very much.
When Jackson, just go with a different vendor, I'm like, no, we like these people. We're not switching vendors to suit your software.
Who said that?
Jack,
Jack.
this
Jack Brown.
billing software
Oh.
guy,
Mr. Brown.
he wanted us just to switch vendors, cause he's already got the interface made for other people. No, we're not gonna do that.
Why do you pay you annual support and
Switch the radio
We'll
vendor.
let Chad call him next time.
There you go.
Peach to talk to him?
What makes you feel about that, Smart?
That's, yeah, I know people like that.
Yeah, I was like, that's why I said, let tech talk to tech.
Like, that's usually making up for stuff or something wrong with them.
Moving right along to line item number 8, department reports. Does the maintenance department have anything to report, or did we already cover it?
No, you covered the biggest part of it, yeah. No, I just wanted to mention that the bathrooms are closed for the season, they've been winterized. We've got a gas monitor coming in that we purchased, I'll be here in a week or so. And I could get someone to come here and actually show me how to use it, if necessary, but there's a guy that would come and teach it, basically a class, so that part don't really bother me. It's good, it's the monitor we talked about back in May. The reason I didn't go with it then is because it was May and people were shutting down the furnaces and stuff. But I figured we need to get a working monitor.
This is the one that allows us to
Probe.
probe the ground and
Yes,
find leaks.
right. But,
Okay.
you know, we don't have to do it on their side of the meter, but it's good to know that we're clear. I mean, if there is an underground gas leak, that we're not the ones doing it, you know. So,
It's nice to be able to have the ability to test on their side though, and not
yeah,
meter.
yeah. And we could, because it's a handheld, basically, you know, I could actually walk into a house and see if they're the level of gas that's floating around in there, or even CO2, say a customer, you know, feeling flu-like symptoms and they wanna know, you know, if their CO2 levels are high in their house because of their furnace, we could do that for them. I mean, it's just a matter of just going in there and saying, well, yeah, you better have somebody come and look at your furnace, you know. But it's a life-saving thing, you know.
Okay.
And then, well, this last storm showed that we had neglected the tin horns on our main flood channels over here going towards the dump. In fact, I didn't even know there was tin horns in some of them ditches. They were overgrown and plugged up, and they're still plugged up, but they're beat up, you know, they're the old corrugated tin ones, and they're falling apart. So, I don't know, maybe someday we probably ought to address them. I don't know if this is a trend that's gonna last, or if this is just a fluke thing. I don't know, my rain gauge says we got 9 inches of rain in an 11-hour period. It's a lot of rain.
You're talking about on the road that goes to the dump?
Yeah, and that's our main flood control right there. I didn't realize that. This town drains amazingly well. I mean, it does. But if we don't address the tin horns on, because I guess the county addressed the tin horns on the east side of the road. You know, they've got big, deep ditches and stuff, and replaced a lot of the tin horns, like by the ballpark and stuff like that. But everything across the road, everything that comes around around Randy Wilson's and Phil's, you know, it dumps into that west ditch, and I found out that there was no place for it to go, you know. I was lucky enough to dig out a tin horn that got it to diverted going back north and then swinging around and going south under the Tumbleweed and Eagle Pass there. So that helped a lot, but, you know, I still gotta address some of the plugged ones on down the road.
So if I'm not mistaken, that used to be Old Highway 50. When the state abandoned that bridge, they deeded all that back over to the county.
That's what I thought. But I've talked to somebody at the county, but I haven't talked to the man. I guess that's Troy. But I told him about the tin horn right there at the hog pens, George's hog pens. Because he brought it to my attention, there's water just standing there. So, like I said, it might have just been a fluke deal, it might not happen again for another 8 years, but.
It's supposed to rain again.
It's something we probably need to make sure they're cleaned out,
Yeah.
taken care of. So is that something the county, that we need to ask the county just to check?
I'm sure Troy, or if you don't get any response there, talk to the commissioner. I'm sure they, even if it wasn't theirs, I'm sure they'd be glad to help us clean them out or replace them if they need to be.
Or we could have Dawn call, she's got an inside there.
She got an inside
You
track.
better ask Kevin for it.
Yes, and he jumps right on it.
Okay, you ask him. Doesn't work for me.
And the last thing is, there was just a bunch of crap back there in this part of the garage, and I was thinking, you know, you were thinking about building another conference room. I think if we was to divert the stairs to where it comes down to a platform and then goes out into that bay there, you could wall off all that, make an office from, you know, this wall all the way to the bay door, and
Except the roof leaks there.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Well,
say.
The hidden parking
Found out
garage
all the leaks.
inside.
Oh,
and then just have half of it for a utility garage and the other half for a conference room or something. Cause I've almost got all that stuff out of there, and what's left, mostly just needs to be thrown away.
Is our roof leak bad, or is it just what you have when you get 100-year rain?
to be addressed.
I
I mean,
thought-
we don't know, we didn't go up in the archives.
When you had your pan under there, was it going tink, 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 or going tink, 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 tink?
Oh, there was a nice puddle. It was, yeah. But we didn't,
And two different spots.
yeah, and we didn't go up in the archives and see if it was leaking up there,
Why didn't you?
because it's not January. I'm not
I got
touching
news
anything up
for you.
there.
Put it on there when it's cold.
Jared set off like he's
Slowly.
like 6 plug pumps in our barn, so he can get pins ready.
That's all I got, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart. I know you're not feeling good. If you need to go, you're welcome to.
I think they will. Dawn's got to go to the hospital tomorrow, surgery, so.
No, she's gonna want you to wait on her tonight.
Yeah.
Tell Dawn we said hi.
She turned into a big baby lately.
I know you did a lot worse.
Oh,
This is where you hit the pause button. So
Good night, everyone.
see you later, Stuart.
What?
Tell her good luck.
I will.
Is there anything, that concludes the maintenance part of our reports. Is there anything from the desk of the special projects department?
I got all the plug-in receptacles finished, completely done. Even the one out here on the side of the building. Called the state of Oklahoma, Buffalo, talked to Justin Jordan about putting in the crosswalk out on the highway, got that finished, completely done the other day.
So, do you know when they might do it, or is
It's already done.
Yeah,
Oh, it's already done.
I know, I drove home
She
the other night, and was
turns
like,
before
hey,
she
it's
gets
right.
there. I think.
Where is it
yeah.
at? Is it over here by the store?
On
No.
ISO.
It's where the sign always has been, they just don't want some else. And they said they could only do that one, but do
Yeah.
One school, one crosswalk. That way you only have to have one crossing guard. Is that all you got done, Bonnie?
No.
This is my your stuff there. If you can read my notes.
Oh, okay. Got the siren, it's back there in the shop.
When are they bringing that base, or have they?
It's here.
The tower?
Everything's back there.
They just haven't got it up yet.
Tuesday.
They'll be here Tuesday.
You know, I
Is there a
thought,
big telescoping pole in the back?
Oh, you ought to see this, crazy.
Is that the one piece that somebody might have wrote down there that, did you write it on there, that there's one piece missing? Or
That's
they
one
told me
piece
it
of
was all
40 foot
there.
pole.
No, that came after, there's an infants on it.
Okay, well, it's all there,
It's not there.
AEC's putting up a pole.
Okay.
when
It's
are they
gonna be
doing?
over there.
Tuesday. It's all taking place Tuesday, or supposed to be.
Cool.
And AC is
So
donating.
then that way at noon, every Wednesday, we can, please don't do
Yeah.
I work nights, dang it.
It's lunchtime. Sounds like the Flintstones.
Every Friday at noon. Okay.
That's on you, you're the siren guy.
They
So,
will have to
how-
test
where
fire
exactly
sometime.
is
it
before it
going?
works.
South of the fire department,
Oh, it is?
It's where the old one was.
where the old one was.
Okay.
that. I knew it came from that direction.
Well, I did too, but does Pebbles know about it?
She will.
It's okay.
I mean, she'll be glad we got it, I just wanna make sure it's not the place that's gonna be, like it's gonna cause them to run a truck, you know, into it,
I don't even, well, where was the other one at? He told me south of the fire department, but,
Cause there's a new building there
or.
now.
See, yeah, that wasn't built.
Yeah,
that
the
building
our
wasn't.
current firehouse was not there when the old
Okay.
when the old siren was.
okay. So,
We looked there for a cell tower and we couldn't find a good place on the south side.
well, cell tower's a little bit different than this.
I guess, I mean, you're talking about a light pole,
Yeah.
you're talking about
It's gonna be
Light
hardwired
bulb.
in.
a, okay. And nobody rips the mirror off on it.
That's what I was thinking.
It was put up, it can always be moved, I guess, if there's something wrong with it.
Well, I guess they didn't pay attention. I can get ahold of Pebbles tomorrow and see, make sure that's okay before they get over here. That's all I can do.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Ding,
would
ding, ding,
honestly,
crash.
just in case she's got any questions. That would be a lot easier.
Okay.
She can be here Tuesday and supervise.
Yeah,
There you go.
that would be good. So that is when they're doing it, Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah.
What else?
Got the trash can,
Yes.
got the trash can, got it painted on there, it's
Looks
in the
like
back.
gun smoke
Where's
or
it?
Cracker
It's
Barrel.
in the back still.
You'll have to go take a tour of the back. when
Yeah,
the meeting's
I
over.
did do that.
So I painted on there, stenciled on there. Town
Did
of
you really?
Freedom.
Cool. Look out for
Contributions
pickpockets and loose women
Oh,
who's
well,
spitting on
It's a
the
basic.
So it's around the grass.
sidewalk.
I didn't even hear what you said.
It wasn't
So-
that
Please
expensive.
say something about loose men. No.
After I get the polyurethane on it, I'll get the stuff outside.
Cool.
I'm waiting on Stuart to get it for me, cause he's going to town tomorrow, so he'll bring it back.
That will
Kill
be
two
the
birds with one
biggest
stone.
thing in town
Yeah.
in years.
The
Right.
local hardware doesn't carry outdoor polyurethane.
Okay, where are you gonna put the trash can?
Right down the sidewalk around the corner by the post office.
And it'll be under.
Oh God, you know how much junk mail will have to be dumping over
Do you want me
there?
to?
This was a gum wrapper unit.
It needs to be,
I can
in
stick
this
it right out
vicinity.
here,
and
but
it kinda needs to be under some cover. Cause it's wood and it was not cheap.
I can stick it out here.
Whatever you two think.
I
You
don't
can
wanna.
chain it next to
I-
the siren, so when they rip their mirror off, they can throw the glass in.
I don't wanna stick it down by the bar because I don't want somebody getting a little tipsy and taking it
Being
out
on
and rolling on the barrel, you know, that's. No, walking on the barrel,
That's a
rolling
great
on
idea.
it.
Yeah, this is gonna be on camera, Lonnie.
That is awesome. Bonnie.
Maybe nobody watches it.
Well, if we put it out here, we'll chain it down. Right?
Yeah.
That way somebody
Bolt
can't
down
do
or
that.
chain it down.
That way somebody can't take off with it or something. Cause it's not as heavy as it looks.
I don't know.
I mean, it's heavy, but not that heavy in there.
I don't think we've suffered a lot of trash can theft in the past.
I
But
haven't
they're
seen
not
this.
very cute.
We haven't had, this one's pretty awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, the Daily Oklahoman's been in front of the hardware since 1982 and nobody's even moved it, just dropped pee on it. We do need to get that moved probably, we should call them.
Oh, there's still an inspector box in front of the hardware.
They just forgot to pick it up then, apparently.
Does the Daily Oklahoman go under?
I don't think so.
They just don't deliver.
They just don't
anymore.
deliver their,
Well, our
or
whole
somebody
building
has
in
it
the
picked.
city is now remodeled or gone or something. Thought maybe they went through the Spencer line, whatever. What else you got, Lonnie?
For the most part, that's
Could
it.
we use it for anything?
I mean, that you guys need to,
Okay, know about? Thanks, Bonnie.
to know about. That's important to you guys, let's put it that way.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. That's exciting. Trash cans and sirens
Outlets online.
and outlets online. Okay, does the office manager have anything to add?
Not really,
Okay,
no, nothing.
think we've about covered everything we
And
can.
I asked a person nicely to mow and they took care of it.
And Bob did get his stuff done.
Yes, I saw that, it looks awesome. Piled up everything and, yeah, he did a good job.
The other one who I had sent a letter out to previous month has since moved out of that house, and so now it's just in limbo. The owner lives out of state.
You can still send them a letter.
Yeah, that's what we have to do.
Facebook her and find out where she lives.
You can get from the tax office, from the property tax.
I did, but they said send it to her brother at that physical address.
Can't you get it from the person living there? He had to have been sending a check somewhere.
Who is that?
Okay. Raina knows
Who owns it?
that. Raina.
Oh. I didn't realize that's where he was living.
So that one has not been taken care of, to my knowledge.
You probably call her mom and ask her. Where she is.
Hoping that other guy that's trying to put in more trailers down there will just buy it and he can take care of it.
The Freedom Man Camp.
He'd buy it instead of moving in another one, and see, that'd solve a lot of problems.
Change the name of the street to Solitaire Road. Okay. What else? That it? That you can say on camera? Okay. Cindy, your turn. Town clerk / treasurer.
I don't have anything. I just work those. Do you want to nail down a date? Do you want to meet on the 24th at 6?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Can we
It
do
won't
on the
take
25th
long. All
at
they have
5?
to do is approve it and sign it. Because they'll have it to review beforehand.
Or the 24th at 5, I don't care what
I-
time.
I can't. I have freshman football now because it's fall break, so football game's Thursday night. So the meal's Wednesday night, it's freshman night.
I'm just
So-
nervous about them not getting this in time.
No, well, if we overnight it,
I won't be here that Thursday, I've got a doctor's appointment in Enid.
The whole day? Or you be gone the whole day?
Doctor's appointment in Enid, yeah.
So all we need to do is just get it ready Wednesday night and take it to the post office. Thursday, if you're not here.
I'm
I'm sure I
available
can,
whenever.
I'm sure I can do that.
yeah,
I don't know.
we'll assign
I'm
it
kind
to
of
you.
illiterate, so I doubt it.
Call me.
Okay, can you walk me step by step? How to
No,
do
I
that?
will be in Alma, but you can call me on cell phone?
Okay.
Left foot, right
Rio
foot.
would probably not.
Probably do it first thing like 9 o'clock in the morning.
At 7? Okay.
Special meeting.
She's,
I know 7 o'clock.
Ria's not there.
I'm usually,
Hurry up and write it down or we'll still be here.
okay, report, first meeting.
Okay.
Finalize.
I'll see if I can make it. Is that all you have?
Yeah.
Is there any new business from anyone in here?
Yes.
Is that under remarks from the governing board or is that new business?
I don't know. How do I know? Should I
We'll
just
go with
present
it.
it and then we can do //
Always been around for.
I just think that we need to come up with some kind of a, whether it's an ordinance or whatever, on, just so there's no question, not any big things, about where we put, say, for instance, the Christmas tree. Mainly because we have to put the blocks around it and everything, and in the past, yes, we have had some people run into it. And so I think as far as that goes, maybe we should just get a place designated, get it done ahead of time and not have to worry about it. Then we don't have that question coming up later on.
Build a planter box.
Well, we used to have it, I know we've had it in the middle of the street, but we also used to have it on the other end of the street down there. And I think they didn't want you maybe because of the plugins or something, but now, on the, if we were to go to the end of Main Street, are there plugins down there now and everything's good
Right
to
there
go?
on that pole.
People still have to drive around there.
Yeah, it was still run into down there.
So maybe we need to
But people
find
that are still
So why
living
not
to run
put
into
other,
them still.
just on the other side of
What?
Eagle Nest?
What?
You got plenty of
What if we
Between
blocked
the
off
Legion
that
and the
little
park.
bitty beep beep tree?
People still have to drive by there.
To go to the
Like
concrete
between the
plant,
hardware and the Walker
where are they
building?
going to?
Yeah.
That little bitty thing, what if we just put it right there and block
The
that
only one
street?
that was down there is I.
Yeah, we could do that. The only
Nora.
people that use that is parking for
And
the
then other people on
Mara
that.
Road.
Yeah. Hardware.
Yeah.
And they
Canada,
could still, they
I
could
don't
still
know.
There's
park
more than
there.
one
We
way to
wouldn't
get
need
If
to
it's in
walk
the
up the
middle
whole
of the
street.
intersection, then anybody who's going that
Or
way.
why don't they just put it right in front of their sign
It's
if
not
they
like
don't
Freedom
change
Tuesday, it
it?
won't take them 5 minutes to get
Yeah,
around there.
that's true.
I had to take an alternate route to
I
work.
know, right?
Or we can put it on for next meeting if everybody wants to throw out ideas on
Where
where,
be too late.
where it might be designated.
In the middle of the park.
It had,
In
I agree,
November, it'll be too late.
I agree
They'll
with
put
you
it up.
that it had been
Till after Thanksgiving.
down at the
Yeah.
end. It was in the intersection, but a little
It
I
was
wanna
toward
say
the park side. Of
east
course,
to center,
yeah,
where you could still go down north and south. But
of
you
course, that was
could go-
before the monument was there too, or the, veterans,
Memorial.
yeah, the memorial wasn't there then, so we don't wanna block that
There's a
off.
fire hydrant on there, so I'm not gonna put a fire hydrant. on the
So we
corner of
just
the
might
Legion.
wanna think about a good spot for him to put that. But, yeah, I know they like to have the, the sanded stuff right downtown, so, yeah, whatever you guys think. I know the very first time I ever drove down Main Street of Freedom during Christmas, and I came around the corner and there was a tree in the road. I busted out laughing so hard I could barely drive. It's like, seriously.
She was one of the ones that thought ran into it.
I'd never seen him never seen that anywhere but here, but
Oh, Coldwater has one.
in the middle of the street.
Mm-hmm. On Main Street, it's right off the highway. Yeah.
But I mean, we want the tree, I mean, the kids need it, it's just finding a good place for it that'll be safe.
Why can't we put a limit on how big the tree is?
We tried that.
Cause I'm not gonna cut it,
You'll
I'm
have to
not
stand
gonna go
out there
cut a
with
tree.
the loggers.
Yeah,
square and measure
Not gonna
it,
do that.
Okay.
Do your code enforcement.
Okay.
And I know that there are ordinances where you can, against blocking the road off. But if you start, that's my only problem with that is we allow like a rodeo, they rope off for the dance or they rope off for the shootout or, different events that happen. And so you really hate to have an
Get a
ordinance for
permit.
that.
Permit. There's a difference between closing the road for a few hours versus
Blocking.
a major hazard in the middle of the road for 2 months.
Yeah. So that's what, I would like to come up with an idea where would be a good spot and have that designated from this point on.
I could put it on the special meeting
That would be
agenda.
good.
And that way you got 2 weeks to think
Yeah.
and cuss and discuss and share ideas.
And that way nobody's running around trying to figure out the best place to put it. We'll just have it the same place every year.
It'd be perfect, it's got that little station right there in the corner by the park. It has that parking lot up in there. It'd be perfect right there.
Except that's private
I
property.
know,
Yeah.
that's why I was.
There's a power line,
Is there a power line up there?
I'm pretty sure.
Or is it on that side?
I know on the
Yeah, that-
memorial
that could be
side,
done.
there's a pole and there's power that comes back across this way, but I don't know if it turns and goes north or if it goes on
I
down.
don't know either.
If it'd be more of like a resolution type of thing that it was discussed and resolved, that this is what,
Yeah.
and then that can be sent, mailed to the Tree Getters Association.
That sounds good. Thank you. So that will take care of that. Good, I feel better about getting that done. Thank you, Bonnie.
Does that conclude new business?
Yes, sorry.
Is there any?
He doesn't want to ask for remarks.
Are there,
He's like, I'm skipping.
are there any open meeting appropriate remarks from the board?
No.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.